If you're not chronically online, you may not even know what WPlace is. Maybe you've heard it in passing, like the ongoing fight to keep this mural alive, or maybe you've heard about people attacking Deltarune fans because, and I quote, "they ruin everything good in this world." How could you? And maybe if you're lucky enough, you've only seen the most wholesome, best interactions of people making cute pixel art together. Guys, is this too much red? Am I overwhelming you? Red, okay, hold on.
What's my favorite color? Take a guess.
There we go. A wee bit better. On paper, WPlace is supposed to be this sweet global art project where people connect through silly pixel doodles. But in practice, it's kind of like you opened an arts and craft class and then you let this guy enroll. So if you're like me and don't feel like dipping your little fingers into WPlace, I've compiled it all in this little video for you to the best of my ability. Also, quick little disclaimer. Like in all my videos, I try to research things to the best of my ability. But if you know more or I missed something or just something is wrong, please let me know down below. I more than appreciate being educated. And if anyone responds saying this...
It's literally just the internet being the internet. What do we get over it?
Oh, wait. Look, what's that? Oh, it's the door. Okay, I'm just messing. I appreciate everyone's opinions. Anyways, let's start with ground zero. What is WPlace? Slurped right out of the website of WPlace, this is what the website has to say. WPlace.live is an innovative online platform that overlays a massive real-time pixel canvas onto the world map, allowing anyone to paint and create art together. Inspired by Reddit's r/place, WPlace.live offers a persistent and vastly larger canvas, 4 trillion pixels, a million times bigger, creating a dynamic and ever-evolving digital landscape. Woo! Now, to give you guys just a little bit more context, we do have to first explore r/place. Don't worry, this won't get too convoluted. r/place was a collaborative social experiment type project that was hosted on Reddit. You've actually probably already heard of it before. It is a big digital canvas that anyone had access to and could put pixels on, with over 1 million users who edited the canvas. And at all times, approximately 90,000 people were watching this canvas. I remember at least placing 1 pixel, and then I remember getting bored of waiting 5 to 10 minutes to place my next pixel, so I gave up. r/place was up and running 3 times. April 1st, 2017, April 1st again in 2022, and the last one being July 20th, 2023. And each time these canvases opened, there were always some crazy screenshots being passed around the internet. So inspired by r/place, WPlace was born. It's a W! So basically, it's just one big canvas where anyone can come along and, make a piece of art on the internet. Where anyone can come along. I think we're starting to see the issue. The world is filled with so many people with different interests and different perspective on things. People share their love for certain places on the map, and memorials for those who have recently lost their lives. Speaking of memorials, let's get into the biggest issue so far on WPlace. As of recording this, maybe there's more. The biggest issue on WPlace as of right now has to deal with a horse. Yes, a horse.
Peter. The horse is here.
And surprisingly, not any of these. It has to do with a wonderful racehorse named Grass Wonder. You don't need to know a whole lot about him, but he was an American-bred, Japanese-trained racehorse, and he won a lot of races. The game, Uma Musume Pretty Derby, is centered around anthropomorphized racehorses. Basically, each of these girls represent a real-life racehorse, including Grass Wonder. Unfortunately, though, the real-life racehorse Grass Wonder passed away August 8th, 2025. Very recently as of recording this. And because of the game Pretty Derby, a lot of people were made aware of his passing. And as such, a memorial for Grass Wonder was created on WPlace. However though, unfortunately, the original artwork was AI. But the artist who created this on WPlace did tweak it a little bit, and obviously they placed the pixels there by hand. So think of that what you will. When this piece was first placed in the Philippines, it got a lot of love from the Pretty Derby community. It was surrounded by hearts and loving messages towards Grass Wonder until it started getting very minorly grieved. Someone would erase a few pixels here and there. Someone drew this Deltarune character in the bouquet of flowers. Deltarune being a game created by Toby Fox, who also created Undertale. But I'm sure if you're watching this and you're already subscribed to my channel, you probably already know what that is. Regardless though, those little things were easy to fix. But then it not only started getting griefed by silly pictures, it began getting griefed with racial slurs, swabs, and even people removing the clothing on this character and drawing intimate areas, which is just vile. Why? And because of this, the internet began to freak out. A lot of people were putting the blame onto Deltarune fans for ruining everything, as a lot of people believed that Deltarune fans were behind most of the griefing that was happening on the platform. But the griefing continued on the Grass Wonder Memorial. Not only fans of Pretty Derby, but also the community who supported art and the mural began to fight back and protect the mural to the best of their abilities. It was also discovered that Deltarune fans were not behind the griefing of the mural. Kinda obvious with this one, but it's okay, because it was discovered that it was none other than 4chan. Hey 4chan, why are you popping up in so many of my videos recently? Well, basically 4chan is known for doing these anonymous internet trolls. Anyways, people caught on and quickly changed their perspective on the Deltarune fans. Or at least they should have, now learning this new information. People on 4chan actually knew that Deltarune fans were getting blamed, so they kind of played into that a little bit by writing Deltarune on the mural. Now, I haven't played Deltarune. I've only seen a little bit of the first chapter, but I think any real fan wouldn't just write the title of the game, because I'm pretty sure the entire game is pixel art. So why wouldn't they just do the pixel art from the game? I guess people on 4chan just thought it would be absolutely hilarious to destroy and write racial slurs all over an artwork, a memorial artwork at that. And it wasn't even just, you know, a few griefers here or there. No, some users band together to create bots, little robots to come in and destroy this artwork. To me, it kind of reminds me of like middle school when you're like drawing something on the whiteboard and then that one kid comes up and either like starts erasing it or scribbles over it, and then you're just kind of left there standing awkwardly. In my brain, and I'm not saying this to be mean, but I genuinely cannot believe anyone over the age of like 14 is doing this. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, I'm here to learn from every side, but you're wasting your adult time on that? And I do know that the internet is crazy and not everyone is going to agree or have the same beliefs. A lot of people will just say that it's some stupid horse and that it doesn't matter and people need to get over it. But if that's the case, then why would these people go out of their way to break almost every single rule on the WPlace website? Oh, did I forget to mention that this website has rules? Yes, it does. Do not paint over others' artwork using random colors or patterns just to mess things up. No 18 plus or hate group related paintings. Do not reference inappropriate websites. Do not paint with one or more account. The use of bots is not allowed. Disclosing other users' personal information is not allowed. So basically, people have more than enough reason to be upset. Not only is it a destruction of this beautiful mural, but also they be breaking all the rules. Get them! Get them, get them, get them! But I do believe that this website is trying to protect the artist's work, so that's kind of cool. Because it really isn't not that big of a deal when you're bending over backwards, breaking the rules to deface a memorial art piece. Just saying. I'm just putting it out. I'm just the information guy who says all the information. And even if you're not an animal lover like myself, let me get my country persona here. Pretend this is a cowboy hat. You can call me a bit of a cowboy. I used to do horse competitions and I rode those horses into the sunset. I never lost. I never lost a competition. So I understand, you know, losing a horse is a big deal. But you know, even if you're not an animal lover, I'm sure even you can still recognize that this group of people came together to show love and support for this animal's passing. You don't need to love animals to see people gathering together to spread love. And there is truly no reason to be mad at this artwork, except for maybe the AI thing, but also this pixel painting was placed here by a human. Some people seeing others have a strong sense of community can feel them leaving left out, or perhaps even them not understanding, and instead of doing the correct thing and educating themselves on the matter, or even just ignoring it, they decide to make their own community of other people who also hate and don't understand. But let me know what you guys think about the mural. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the griefers. And if you were someone who's trying to save the mural, or even if you were a griefer, let me know why. I'm open to listening. Yeah, I got these listening ears. Because to me, it simply feels like a bunch of teenage boys who simply just want to destroy beautiful artwork. And they think they're little edgy demons coming in to destroy the pony mural of peace and love, when in reality they are just racist losers. And the racism didn't only show up on this mural.
New Delhi on WPlace just shows how crazy casual racism towards Indians has gotten in like the past few years. I feel like personally it's gotten a lot worse in my experience. I'm getting it a lot more. Like when I stream now, occasionally it's not uncommon for someone to come in and tell me to go back to my country. And it's just more and more and more and more. And it's really disheartening to see something really cool like WPlace be so lame.
And I know people will say, well, this is the internet. But I'm tired of people using that as an excuse to be horrible and let horrible things slide. Even though these are just some mean words being said online, they do have weight and they have a horrible impact. Just because it's online racism doesn't mean it's not racism. Speaking of, it's just the internet. Let's move on to our next topic. It's time for the annual Creeps of the Internet shout out portion. It is very clearly stated on WPlace website, no 18+ material, which makes perfect sense because WPlace is supposed to be for everyone of all ages. But there are some artists out there who are getting their art briefed by people who think it's funny to just expose the intimate areas of characters. Obviously, they target characters who are women or feminine presenting, even if they're children, whether it be anime characters or real-life portraits. They will just come along and remove the clothing on the chest and nether regions, drawing on the anatomy. And I know people again will say, it's just the internet, it's just pixels. But if you feel the need to physically remove the clothing off a picture of a woman to expose her bare chest, you are just a creep. Because if you feel the need to do that with pixels, what are you going to do when a real woman enters the room? Because I'm not trusting you around my mama. Far away. And I'm sure there are people who do make deliberate, not safe for work pixel art on the platform. Maybe they don't realize the no 18+ rule, or maybe they just do it anyways. Again, I'm not here to like spread purity, but at the same time, it's important to read the rules because you don't want to accidentally expose anyone. I know this video so far has just been me pointing out all the rule breakers. You broke a rule and you broke a rule and you... I don't mean to be like, you know, spreading the rules. I don't think anything will really come of this video. I just wanted to rant and yap a bit. I also really love art and the art community. So it sucks to see this sort of stuff happen on something that is such an awesome and cool idea. On to our final top. Instead of people destroying WPlace, we have people fixing WPlace. Oh yes, the countless TikTok accounts fixing WPlace. You may think, oh, good. They're covering up inappropriate art and helping to restore graffitied artwork, but no. I've seen people removing pride flags, Deltarune art, and furry art just simply because they don't like it. And a big excuse that a lot of these people use is there is already so many of X thing. So just because one person draws it means now that you can't. And you know what? Yeah, I'll agree. There is tons of Deltarune art on WPlace, but maybe that's because it's one of the most popular games with a pixel art style at the moment. Hence why even for beginner artists, they can easily hop on and do a silly little drawing of their favorite Deltarune character because they're already pixelized. That's probably why there's so many of them.
Hi guys, I came back on WPlace to check on my art, and my Spanton is cheeked the f*** up. He wasn't like that before. Here's the reference image. Here he is now. Who the fuck is Curly Spoon? Who are you, Curly Spoon?
Imagine signing on, wanting to try your hand at some awesome pixel art, and then being told, you're ruining WPlace because there's already a picture of that. If you truly do want to take justice into your own hands and fix WPlace, I highly suggest that you quickly glance over the rules and then report the art that is breaking those rules. There you go. Fixing it. And people who grief country flags to be racist or pride flags to be homophobic, guess what? That's still against the rules, my friend. The only flags you're actually allowed to grief and I quote, "Griefing political party flags or portraits of politicians is allowed. Political parties or portraits of politicians." Which Spampton is neither of those. It's very obvious that WPlace is trying to be an artist-first community, which is so awesome, but I have seen a few artists say that they're tired of seeing the same pixel art copy and pasted everywhere, and that you should only join WPlace if you're a real artist. To that I say, boo-hoo. That's right. For once, I'm disagreeing with the artist, and I say this because every artist has to start somewhere. Who cares if you're doing the same pixel art that you find on Pinterest? You have to start with something. Feeling the urge to open up the canvas, even if you're just following a template, you are still creating. You are still doing more than most people. So try not to get discouraged and keep going. And maybe one day you will be able to create your own original pixel art. I think it's important to mention as well that WPlace is not all bad. I spent like 2 hours one night just going all around the world looking at the amazing artwork and getting super excited when I see art from a franchise that I particularly enjoy. It's a really good way to build community, and seeing others support the same things you do makes you feel not so alone. There's also been some really fun and creative ways that people are interacting with each other, especially with these silly boats. I love these boats. I don't quite know the origin story behind these boats, but I love them. There are like thousands upon thousands of these boats. And to think that every single one was created by an individual person, not to mention a lot of the most popular areas with the most pixel arts are really good at respecting other people's artwork, and even leaving kind or encouraging messages. So despite all my negative Nancy rambling, I think things like WPlace is such a good idea, and the few negatives we talk about are massively outweighed by all the positives. So that at least gives me a little bit of hope that the world is not as bad as we think. Maybe. Sometimes. Not really. It's pretty crazy. And I think that's why it's so important that we always create, despite if we are new beginners or have been doing it for years. So if you've been wanting to create something, art, music, maybe even YouTube videos, and feel a sense of anxiety or maybe fear of failure, that your stuff isn't good enough and people won't like you, just know that that isn't true. That's just your own brand playing tricks on you. Everyone has to start somewhere. And if you never make that thing, you'll never know how good it can turn out. All right. What a yap of a video. You kind of made it to the end. You're good. You survived. You learned everything from my brain to your brain. Thank you guys so much for making it all the way through. Here's my little ramble portion, so feel free to say ta-ta. Speaking of content creating, woo! I've been getting some crazy anxiety around creating stuff. Making this little video, seeing other people put their art out there, definitely, you know, keeps me going a little bit. Because I know my videos aren't perfect, and I know people are going to share what they think about me. You know, I got thick skin, you know, I'm pretty cool. I don't really care what Emily42 has to say. Sorry if you're Emily42, you're welcome here. But you know, it can be a lot. And I'm a small little guy. I'm like a micro YouTuber. And seeing like thousands of comments come in, I'm kind of like, whoa. You know, even for me and my 42 different anxiety disorders, if my drive to create wasn't so strong, I probably wouldn't be doing this. But I'm here with you guys. And you guys are awesome. You guys always have such wonderful feedback and nice things to say. Even when I do make a mistake about some information, you guys are so polite correcting me. And you know, I appreciate that. That's the internet I know and love. You know the phrase I've been saying every 2 seconds? That's just how the internet is. What if I don't want it to be? What if I want the internet to be happy, good, and awesome all the time? Ever thought of that? Anyways, please let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I more than appreciate it. Let me know if you made anything on WPlace or anything you've created has gotten griefed, as well as let me know what you would like to see me cover next. Anything you're interested in the moment, give me a little comment. I'll read it. Unfortunately, that is all the yapping I have for today. So, same time next week.